Thanks, first of all, for having me here. It's a great pleasure to be back to you guys. Now, in Accedian, the value that we are bringing to this market is something which we found was missing, is that a company which would understand what the challenges of the customers are in this digital transformation age. Now, you know, we all suffered through this COVID-19 for the past couple of years, and we were kind of forced into this digital transformation area. People who were resisting this transformation were forced to stay at home and run their business over Zoom, which was something impossible to think just 2 years back. But we were forced to do that. And a lot of challenges arise because of that, right? People understood their infrastructures are not ready to sustain such a business. And these things are not going away anytime soon, okay? This has permanently affected the way we are going to run our businesses in future. So Accedian as a company is bringing something very important to the table. We are trying to get our customers the right tool that they can understand how their infrastructures are behaving, and if there is any issue, how soon can you troubleshoot that rather than spend your time finding that particular issue.
So you can be proactive instead of reactive.
Absolutely, absolutely. Not only proactive, we are also going to ensure that before something breaks, we are able to warn our customers that, look, this is something which is supposed to get broken. Absolutely. So one thing which we understood, especially in the Middle East and African market, well, look, this is valid globally, but one thing which we understood is the solution has to provide the right set of value. Okay, that means it has to affect the business in a positive way, at the same time, not break their banks. So if I'm here to provide a solution which I cannot justify the cost, then it's not going to work with my customers. Absolutely. So that's the reason we have, I can give you a couple of examples. Our solutions are by default cloud native.
Which is what you want.
Exactly. So I remember a discussion 2 days back when a customer said, how soon can you deploy it? I said, in 2 days.
That's what they want to hear.
That's what they want to hear, that we are ready. And I won't call we are low value, but yes, we definitely can sustain the value to the customer in terms of dollars. That their investment versus the value that they get back from our system. Absolutely. I think personally, from a personal perspective, what I've seen, an effect in many companies, the more you move towards a digital space, the more you are prone to attacks, which were not possible earlier days. Let me give an example. Like, I remember we all remember the old days where we had digital phones, right? Unless you cut the wire, nothing could go wrong. But just imagine when it transformed to IP telephony, right? You can actually have people hacking inside your systems. The same happens with all our software and hardware nowadays. The more we are moving things towards the cloud, we understand you cannot control something which you cannot lock inside your data center. It's out there in the open.
You can't do it.
So you got to make sure it's secure. At the same time, it doesn't affect the accessibility. Because of
But you need the access, of course.
because that's a fine balance which every company has to maintain, that does my security compromise my accessibility? Because security without accessibility is of no use. You cannot just put a lock and key to your website, because then you cannot do any business using that, right?
But I'd say that balance is hard to find.
It is. I think what companies have understood is they got to adapt to this new age. And as you rightly said, security is no longer something only to be concerned with geeky people inside an IT room. It is going to affect all of us. Probably it has already affected. And it was a syndrome, not only in Middle East, but in the entire world, is that unless I find out something, nothing has gone wrong. But this is the biggest finding we have understood, that people's networks have got attacked, information taken out. They couldn't even realize that before 2 years. So understand that now is just that we are finding more issues because we are being more aware. So it has not increased, it was always there. And I love talking about Middle East. We love Middle East. We all love this because everyone knows this is one of the most dynamic regions in the world, right? The world is looking towards these three economies: UAE, Saudi, and Qatar, because these are the one of the fastest growing economies. And just to make things more interesting, all these three economies are going through a massive transformation from an oil-based to a non-oil-based economy. And this is the major reason of this big transformation happening, right? We definitely find both Saudi and UAE to be our fastest growing markets. The prime reason is that of the sheer amount of investment happening in this region. And due to the visionary thought process of the leaders that we have in both these countries are going through a complete transformation, and it's affecting every sector possible, including ours, which is mainly telecoms and enterprise space. So I think we definitely look forward to a much steep incline in terms of business uptake in the coming next 5 to 10 years for sure. Yeah, I think some of the technologies which were not mainstream are gonna become mainstream. I think definitely cryptocurrency is something which we are all getting aware of, right? Even my mom now wants to invest in Bitcoin, right?
That's
so
also a good indicator that it's
yeah,
become a mainstream.
yeah. So it's becoming mainstream, and I think new technologies which is gonna give us the virtual presence effect. I was the virtual presence, right? Because I think we are bored having the Zoom calls in 2D. So very soon, we probably are going to see hologram kind of video conferencing happening. Because I think what COVID has done to our business thinking process is it always necessary to take a 7 to 8 hour flight just to have a meeting with the end customer face to face? So I think this thing has forced us to believe out of box that how we can better ensure that we optimize cost in business, at the same time give the maximum experience back to our customers. So I think new companies are emerging in these fields who are gonna provide cutting edge technologies which we thought science fiction just 5 years back.